Mangwanani Mwalelepo Kleklas, welcome to Africa Good Morning, your portal into Africa's important stories. Ivory Coast's Alassane Ouattara is running for controversial fourth term, igniting political tension. Bobi Wine says democracy in Uganda is under attack. Nigeria's nurses strike nationwide, and Somaliland makes a bold appeal to the United States for recognition. In economic news, Tanzania blocks foreigners from grassroots businesses, while the African Development Fund pivots toward capital markets amid shrinking donor support. Plus, South Africa correspondent Arrie Hougaard brings us the latest in sport, entertainment, and top stories. DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Africa on YouTube is precisely where you can find us. My name is Ashwin Berry. This is Africa Good Morning. Top stories shortly.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
Let's get into our top stories on Africa Good Morning. Ivory Coast President Alassane Ouattara has confirmed that he will run for a fourth term in October, citing the need to maintain stability amid security and economic concerns. At 83, Ouattara claims the 2016 constitutional changes reset term limits, allowing his continued leadership. However, several opposition candidates, Laurent Gbagbo, Guilherme Soro, and Tijane Thiam, have been barred from the race. Now, Thiam condemned Ouattara's candidacy as a constitutional violation and an assault on democracy. A protest planned by opposition leaders for August 7 was swiftly banned by authorities. Ouattara's record includes over 6% annual economic growth for 4 consecutive years, but disillusionment with the political elite is growing. The country has a history of election-related unrest, notably 2010 to 2011 and again during Ouattara's 2020 election. With 8.7 million voters registered, civil society and religious leaders are voicing concerns over Ouattara returns to the ballot amid barred challenges and suppressed dissent, and this is going to be a test for Ivory Coast political stability once again. Ugandan opposition leader Bobi Wine says the country's political environment is deteriorating ahead of the 2026 elections. Wine, who garnered 35% of the vote in 2021, says threats against him and his supporters have intensified, many coming from President Museveni's son, Army Chief Muhoozi Kainerugaba. Now, Kainerugaba, who also hinted at presidential ambitions, once tweeted he'd cut off Wine's head and later claimed to be holding Wine's missing bodyguard, who appeared in court unable to walk. Now, Bobi calls the threats a constant reminder of the regime's intimidation. His party, the National Unity Platform, alleges ongoing detentions and disappearances of supporters. Wine, known as the ghetto president, has faced blocked rallies and accusations of foreign allegiance from Museveni. Now, despite this, his resistance continues as he urges citizens to cast a protest vote. Meanwhile, Museveni has begun campaigning in Kampala, aiming to win over urban voters. The specter of family succession and the absence of peaceful power transfers since 1962 and to the growing public unease in Uganda's political future. Moving on. Nurses across Nigeria have launched a 7-day nationwide strike protesting unmet demands over pay, safety, and working conditions. The strike, coordinated by the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, began after a 15-day ultimatum to the government expired without action. With 25,000 members, the association is targeting all federal health institutions, and this is including teaching, specialist and eye hospitals, as well as general and primary care centers. Private hospitals do remain operational. Now, key demands include a review of recent salary adjustments, which nurses say fail to compensate for night and weekend shifts. The group also wants the health ministry to establish a dedicated nursing department and invest in safer, better equipped facilities. The strike threatens to cripple essential healthcare services across Nigeria, already under strain from frequent disruptions. Nurses say the government must act urgently to address the worsening conditions in public healthcare. As services grind to a halt, the spotlight is once again on Nigeria's long-standing challenges in supporting its medical workforce. In the last of our top stories, Somaliland is offering the United States access to a strategic military base and key minerals. This is in exchange for formal recognition of its independence. The region, which broke from Somalia in 1991 and is home to around 5 million people, has long operated with de facto autonomy. Now, President Abdi Rahman Mohammed Abdullahi is actively lobbying Washington to shift its policy, which currently supports Somalia's territorial claims. Talks with U.S. diplomatic and military officials have focused on strengthening security, counterterrorism cooperation, as well as economic ties. American military leaders, including the top officer for the Horn of Africa, have reportedly visited Somaliland's capital. All right, those have been our top stories on Africa. Good morning. Shortly, we'll be talking to Arrie Hougaard just before that, we'll have a look at the weather.
Irangomed is a leading distributor, working in partnership with NewMed and WestMed to meet the comprehensive needs of the Namibian healthcare sector. As a partner pursuing sustainable global healthcare, we offer industry-leading medical solutions through our key focus areas, which include pharmaceuticals, orthopedics, ophthalmology, surgical devices and capital equipment, as well as a well-established scientific laboratory division. In healthcare, Irangomed is committed to making a difference. What about you?
It's time for us to talk to our correspondent in South Africa, Arrie Hougaard, as he delivers the South Africa report. Good morning, Arrie. How are you?
Yes, very good morning, Ashwin. Yes, nice to talk to you this morning. Morning.
Good to chat with you, Arrie. Now, in your current affairs segment, you've got two stories for us. One of them, Transnet, South Africa's state-owned freight and logistics company, continues to make massive losses. It would be good to hear from you with regards to why that's happening. And of course, the South African government is still waiting for substantive feedback, and this is from the USA related to a proposed trade deal. Do take us into your current affairs.
Yes, thank you, Ashwin. Yes, indeed. Transnet is an important component in the economy of South Africa, so it needs to work. So there's challenges. They're trying to address that, but it's going in the wrong way at the moment, unfortunately. The debt for Transnet is massive, 750 billion for this year. The previous year it was 500, so it goes up. But the latest setback is the penalties that they're paying. So penalties, that's for Transnet that paid the Kumba iron ore. Penalties of almost R1 billion, 942 million South African rand, and that is for underperforming. So that's obviously in the contracts that they need to supply certain things that's in place. That's got to do with the railway system and also the ports. So there's challenges on both sides. Doing better on the railway side, that's the port. But it's about 18.9 million tons of iron ore that's moved from Sishen to Saldanha. 860 kilometers is the length of that railway track, but 500 kilometers of that needs attention, needs replacement. So that's one challenge. So there were 2 derailments also in this calendar year. That didn't help, but it was more delays in the port there. That's visible there in Langebaan. That caused them to underperform and to have to pay 942 million to Kumba Iron Ore. So it is important that to understand that rail is the only way for iron ore to work. Coal you can take by road still, but iron ore is too heavy. So hopefully government can sort out that challenges. It needs to be in place. There's 8 ports for Transnet across South Africa. Most of them have challenges. So also going into what's happening in the trade agreements. It is still South Africa waiting on a response or a substantive report or a response from the USA. More details came forward on what South Africa offered in the trade agreement to the USA. It's tomorrow is D-Day, so it's happening. It's on Friday. It is the 30% tariffs that need to kick in. South Africa, a few things that I can mention, offered the 60 million in local investment pledges into the US economy in industries in mining and recycling. Then also a 10-year liquefied gas. So it's a 10-year liquefied gas deal that South Africa proposed to import from the USA. That's worth about $12 billion over the 10 years. And also opening South Africa to poultry and blueberry imports. And then also exemptions from tariffs. So there's the blueberry, so there's opening that market for the USA. That is what South Africa also offered, and exemptions from tariffs in counter-season agriculture. Reports just briefly from the director of, that's from the International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa, that is Director Zane Danger. He said that one of the stumbling blocks at the moment is the USA challenging South Africa's own domestic issues. So they need to discuss if that is fair. It's a link to the BEE, the Black Economic Empowerment, and Mr. Danger said that that's clouding the trade negotiations. So that's ongoing. So it looks like the 30% will kick in. Hopefully they can find each other today somewhere.
All right, Arrie, now we swing into the sport. The South African women's rugby team will be playing their second test against New Zealand on Saturday, as well as the quarterfinals of the MTN 8 tournament.
Yeah, it's great rugby. South African women's rugby doing good things at the moment, and I heard at one from good source that they're putting them at a high priority for South African rugby. There's a World Cup coming up in August now, just around the corner. So that's the South African women's rugby team in action against the Black Ferns. 2, 3, 4 years ago, that would have been a 50, 60, 70 score against them. They did well in the first test. The score was 34-26 for the All Black Ferns. And so they played a second test this Saturday again in Cape Town in Athlone Stadium. Nice weather predicted for the weekend, so hopefully it will be good rugby as well. And then, apologies, the World Cup coming up. It is in England. England start off the World Cup. They play against the USA. That's the 22nd of August, so that's quite close. And then South Africa play Brazil in their first game. They also play against France and Italy in that World Cup. And then also football, yes, it's always a big one. MTN, it's quarterfinal times. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 games that's happening. It is the Sekekonya that plays against TS Galaxy. That is on Saturday. And the big one, Orlando Pirates, they play against Polokwane City. That is in Orlando Stadium, a great stadium there in Soweto. And the last 2 on Sunday will be Stellenbosch that will play against AmaZulu. And that's Orlando Stadium, so a big game for Orlando Pirates against Polokwane City there. Stellenbosch play AmaZulu, and then it is also Mamelodi Sundowns that will play against Richards Bay. So that's some of the sport action, great MTN sports action happening this weekend.
All right, Arrie, now as we both know, Cape Town offers many tourist sites to visit, but something that is very popular is the red sightseeing bus.
Yes, very convenient, and what's nice about the red bus, it stops everywhere. So it's got a route. On the one route, it will stop at 12 places. You get on and off as you have a ticket for the day. Convenient. You stay as long as you want at the spot. Just hop on again. It comes every 15 minutes. So that is very convenient. You see this red bus everywhere in the world. That's Table Mountain. So the one route is, they call it the red route. It's mainly inside the Table Mountain or the Cape Town area, city area. Table Mountain also. That will go across actually there to Camps Bay as well, and in the Boerkaap and the Two Oceans Aquarium and the waterfront. So it's a nice route to jump on. You can do that all day. If you want to go a little bit further behind Table Mountain and around the peninsula, they call it the Blue Route. Then it's the Mini Peninsula tour. You can do the purple one. That's in between the wine region. How nice is that? They take you all straight to Constantia, and you can do some wine tasting there. You can go up Lions Head and go to Camps Bay, where Hugh Ashwin has been up to Lions Head as well. And so it's beautiful views from the top there. And that's, of course, you can also do a harbour cruise. That's all included. And that's in some of the services that the red bus offers. There's a red boat as well. So that is all to do. It's very convenient. One of the big attractions in Cape Town. Makes it very easy to see and experience Cape Town. So that's the red hop on and hop off sightseeing bus in Cape Town.
Thank you very much, Arrie, for delivering the South Africa report. You've got me excited to come back to Cape Town.
Yes, for sure. We can do that red bus, maybe 2 consecutive days, do the wine region as well behind Table Mountain, and get to know more of the city. So we'll love to host you.
Certainly. All right. This is still Africa. Good morning. Let's have a look at the economic indicators. You are still with Africa. Good morning. This is the economic news. Tanzania has introduced sweeping new restrictions banning foreigners from operating a wide range of small businesses. And this is a move officials say aims to empower local citizens and protect grassroots economic sectors. The regulation, which is effective from 2025, and this is under government notice number 487A, criminalizes foreign involvement in 15 specific industries, from small-scale retail and eateries to tourism services, real estate brokering and mining. Penalties include fines of up to 10 million Tanzanian shilling, up to 6 months in jail, or both. Tanzanians aiding foreigners in prohibited sectors also face hefty fines or jail time. The government says the move is part of a broader nationalist economic policy under President Samia Suluhu Hassan's administration. However, the directive has raised concerns within the East African community, where such measures are seen as non-tariff barriers to regional trade. With around 40,000 Kenyans working in Tanzania's informal economy, the law risks triggering retaliatory actions. The new restrictions follow a May ban on foreign currency transactions within Tanzania, and this is deepening the administration's economic localization agenda. It will certainly be interesting to see how that transpires for the nation of Tanzania. Now, the African Development Fund, ADF, the concessional arm of the African Development Bank, plans to begin raising $5 billion every 3 years from capital markets starting in 2027. The move comes as traditional donors, including the U.S., reduce funding. Established in 1972, ADF has provided $45 billion in low-interest loans to 37 African nations. We're going to take a quick break as we return with the headlines.
Irongo Med is a leading distributor, working in partnership with NewMed and WestMed to meet the comprehensive needs of the Namibian healthcare sector. As a partner pursuing sustainable global healthcare, we offer industry-leading medical solutions through our key focus areas, which include pharmaceuticals, orthopedics, ophthalmology, surgical devices and capital equipment, as well as a well-established scientific laboratory division. In healthcare, Irongo Med is committed to making a difference. What about you?
So just now I said we'd be getting into headlines. I meant highlights, specifically the highlights from the incredible and gripping WAFCON final from Saturday, where Nigeria emerged African champions, 10th time. Have a look.
With Algeria, final round group match in Group B. Here we are, underway. Morocco with a kickoff, defending the goal. High towards the back post. Keeper keeps an eye on it, gets a punch away. And that's straight back in the end, won by 5-0. Now, Zraidi looking to turn her way through the fence. Shot comes in from Shaq. Morocco have scored! It's the captain. Wide. Nigeria looking for the equaliser. Into the penalty area. Ball across. Aital Haj. Looking for Zraidi. She slipped a little bit. It's fallen for Masudi. Chance for number 2. Morocco have doubled the score. Are they on their way to the combinations title? Okoronkwo against Mrichi. Okoronkwo sends her the wrong way. Nigeria right back in it. Excellent penalty.
Well taken. Okoronkwo full of confidence. Fourth goal for her for the tournament. Cool, calm.
Still Okoronkwo with an opportunity for her second. Squares the ball. Nigeria are right back in it. Ijabi Lucy. The strength of Okoronkwo and Nigeria with the corner. Good floater into that penalty area. Uzraoui, Saud, good skills, floated up, running onto it, they've got a third! Nigeria are about to pull off a massive turnaround. Okaronko's free kick.
And that's how it happened for Nigeria. DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, and Network Media Hub, as well as NTV Africa on YouTube is where you can find us. And on oneup2.com, click Echo, and you can have a look at this and other Africa Good Morning episodes. Because on oneup2.com, Echo Primetime is anytime. From me, Ashimberi, and the Africa Good Morning team, Swera Jaganaka.